Spooky Lou Carbon Barker, episode 5050, with the one and only owner, creator of Real Shoot Wrestling. By request, I requested this man for episode 50. Tim Cross, how we feeling, buddy?
Feeling good. Feeling good. Let me fix the camera here so don't get too much glare off my dome.
Yeah.
It's what happens with age whenever you're running a wrestling company.
Yeah, it's been hell on you.
You either lose your hair or you pull it out. So,
Do you think half was pulled out, half was lost? What do you think the ratio is there?
well, I'd say 35% pulled out.
Okay, that's fair. Just from the little I know, I can imagine. God damn, it's stressful to be Tim Cross, ain't it?
It is. It's more stressful than it should be. I don't want to make it sound like I'm out here like acting like Vince McMahon or anything, but like, you know, a promoter's job is more stressful than it should be. I
Okay.
feel like.
But when it's rewarding, is it worth the stress?
Oh, of course. I mean, I feel it is. Others might not. I mean, obviously, others don't think it is. But with the crew that we have, um, there's. I mean, there's something there's something worth it every single time, to me, anyway.
For sure, for sure. For example, give me an example when you thought that was worth all the bullshit and chaos.
Uh, when the Murder won the tag belts,
Hell yeah.
that was a real like everything. The chaos was worth it leading up to it.
Makes sense.
Um,
That was a goosebumps moment to say the least.
yeah. Um, when Zeke got his belt back from Zach once Zach stole his belt, I thought that was a very rewarding moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know. There's a little bit of everything.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's look back at 2022. Do you consider it a success?
Very much so.
I'd say so. I'd say so. Besides some of the moments we mentioned, go on and brag a little bit. What's some of the other prouder moments you had in 2022?
Um, uh, proud moments is literally in a year's time. We had 12 people last December show up to our show. And this year we had about, I don't know, 10 times, a bunch times that. I'm not good with math right now at the moment, but we had a bunch compared in comparison.
Yeah,
So obviously, we did something right through the year, and we grew our fan base and filled filled the room. So I'm proud of just everything that we accomplished. It's not just me at all, and it's never been. But I feel like the team that we have now is the strongest we've ever been.
for sure. I'm not ultra familiar with the old teams and the old product, but I will go to bat for every last person on the roster, on the crew, the referees. Tell you what, you got some fine cameramen as well.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
those cameramen,
God damn, just
those
killing
cameramen
it.
are bringing it.
I tell you, I tell you. What do you think contributed to some of the success you had in 2022? Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes?
There was a lot of moving around in 2022, finding everybody's where they would achieve the best outcome in the positions that they're in. So we moved some people around, and definitely feel everybody's in the right position now for us to succeed the best. We've had some refs moving to the back. We've had some, ring announcers moving into be president.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've had, a lot of people in the production of the way we run things, step up big, and we went from having nothing essentially last December to we have a weekly TV show now. We're putting out shows on our YouTube. We're building our social medias across the board. We have people that's literally doing just social media stuff. There's a production team, and we've grown. That was something that COVID did to us that sucked. Is it ran us out of Ohio essentially.
Mm.
But luckily, at the start of this year, we are now back in Ohio since we have. Um, I'm thinking of the best way. We have taken over a company essentially and taken over all their contracts and all their title belts. And essentially, they are now Real Shoot Wrestling, and anything that they were before is now none and void, essentially. So um, we have a show coming up February 18th called Battle of the Rumble Roses, and we will figure out our new women's champion. I don't want to say figure out, but we will decide our new women's champion since Corinne Mink retired with our title actually a year ago in December.
Okay.
So, shout out to our last women's champion, Corinne Mink. Um, she had a baby this year.
Oh,
Uh, so she's doing fine, and so is the family. So congrats to her. Um, and really excited to get let the females spotlight the show because this will be a first for Real Shoot. So um, I'm excited.
I'm excited. I'm glad you touched on that because I'm excited. AIWF. Okay, we got Ohio. We're working with Jeff Paul and Premier. Just all the talent that's available in all these avenues now. Is there any? Well, let's go into Jeff Paul and Premier. What can you tell us about that relationship?
It is strictly a let's just do better by West Virginia wrestling and give people wrestling than anything else. Um, I we have talent up here. He has talent down there. Basically, we want to show it off. That's all it really is. Somebody asked for wrestling, and we are providing it. Jeff has a great product at Premier Wrestling League, the PWL. They run out of Bluefield. They run Princeton. They also run Crossroads Mall now in Beckley, and we do shows with them from time to time. They have a solid roster.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they have a school there. They have Aaron West and Benny Connolly there, great trainers. So if you're in that area, the Beckley, the southern, I guess the western side of West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is it? I don't know. I don't know
I
right
don't
now.
know geography myself.
Yeah, I'm bad at geography. Anyway, it's about 3 hours away, but 2.5, 3 hours away. But if you're in that area, a very solid school to go to learn from.
For sure. I gotta throw it out there. We're gonna shoot hard on this one. You named the name Benny Conley, former RSW champion.
Yeah.
What what's the chances we see Benny Conley in a real shoot wrestling ring again?
Very solid. Because I have presented his match for April 15th when we return as a full roster to Parma, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so he will be there, um, um, and he has a match. The person he's facing can't be named right now. So other than that, you will see him in a RSW ring, and more than likely you will see him in West Virginia in an RSW ring.
Good, good. Because I've talked to fans that would like to see him in the area. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. If you have him in your ring, you're going to have a damn solid match. You're going to have an entertaining match. And you know how we jump around on the show. I think Benny Conley. I think Crazy Spot with Soup Opera. I think VCW. Tell me what you can about this relationship with VCW we've had recently.
Um, that's basically a you help me, I help you situation. There's not really a whole lot there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just I want to see them, uh, be as good as they possibly can be, and I know that management there feels the same way about us. So we're just doing what we can to make each other's products as good as possible right now.
And it's paying dividends. I promise you that. It's paying
Yeah,
dividends. It's a
yeah. They have VCW has an amazing product right now, and with their shows being on Fight, they have a great production team. So yeah, honestly, if you like solid West Virginia wrestling, they are up there, top notch
for sure.
for the area.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. They like I say, top-notch production, top-notch talent, storylines, etc., etc. I'll quit kissing their ass, and we'll go back to kissing your ass and Real Shoot Wrestling's ass. I was about to ask you, who would you see on their roster you'd like to bring in, or who would you like to bring in? But I think I know you well enough to where you have a lot of faith in your roster that you don't bring in a lot of big names because you know that our roster can deliver. Am I right?
Um, yeah, and basically, it's one of those situations where there's never a time when you can push all the people all the time.
Yeah,
Uh, if I had the people I wanted, it would be awesome. But at the same time, there's people came into RSW um, over the last couple of years that have absolutely worked their ass off, and for me to give up their spot to somebody else, um, just because is something that I would feel would be a very disrespectful move to those people that have busted their ass for me. Um, and like I said, um, you can't push all the people all the time. So, the ones that you weren't, eventually you can. And the ones that you did, eventually will have to, understand the other side of the situation.
makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Eh,
And honestly, a big thing that needs to be understood in wrestling at any level is you have to go away for a little bit to be missed for them to want you to come, for them to want to see you, for you to want to come back. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Imagine if you just it, they never got hurt and they never got stale. Like imagine how cool that would be.
Yeah,
But that doesn't happen now. So the people definitely need to go away more than than they do. And I honestly feel like that's why a lot of companies in general, from our level to the middle to the indies, the super indies to the big weekly contracted people, like people need to come and go, like the door needs to be open. Imagine how refreshing it would be if random B came into random C's place, and this person came in. Like remember how cool it was back in the day when WCW, like randomly Liger came in and worked Brian Pillman.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like and some of them are doing that, but it's just some of them. Imagine if there was just a world of like openness and it was just like like what is really cool is WWE let Nakamura go against Muda.
Yeah,
I thought that was super cool. Because I mean there's two ways to go with that. I mean there's the nod that your guy gets in a situation like that, and plus like Muda knows he has someone that he's in the ring with that he's well respected and knows that it'll be a great contest.
yeah.
You know.
And it was. And it was. And, I mean, let's be fair. Let's call a spade a spade. Noah got more out of that deal than WWE did. So it is what it is. What we're
Yeah.
talking about, bringing other people in and this and that. What makes you bring Tommy Irish, Jake Ely, so give somebody new a chance in RSW?
Um, you've something's got to happen. Basically, what happened was with them, the reason why they got the shot is because it was a crazy weekend and there was some weekday shows and basically something happened to I saw them at this show and I had some cancellations and a spot open and I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing tomorrow?" And they were like, "Nothing, we'll be there." And they showed up and people in the crowd enjoyed them and I enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
So man, it's really hard for me if I enjoy you to not, you know, continuously keep bringing you in at, a certain level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it, it's hard to, like I said, this type of this type of wrestling and stuff. There's certain levels, plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Some people don't want to do certain things, and like some people take that as like, um, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Is it shouldn't be taken as disrespectful, but some people might take it that way. Like basically, I don't want to see, I don't want to see your big shot on the way back down.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it might not even be a situation where it's on the back down. It's just like it's like I like college football more than I like the pros. It's that concept of there's people out there that are like legitly doing it for what they haven't got yet, which and there's a lot more heart involved in those type of situations.
Okay.
Because when you get to the big leagues, like of course, like there's that concept of you still want to go out there and have match of the night and you still want to go give the best performance, but at the same time you've got to really worry about, well, I've got to be able to do this next week or I've got to be able to do this the next day, in the comparison of doing it at this level where it's like, I can go out there and give it my all a little bit harder, and I might not have something to do for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, there are the people that's out there every weekend, and they're doing things a certain way. It's all in the way that you want to show this type of performance.
I get it. I get it. And that's something that um I don't even want to say struggle with, but it's a weird conflict in my mind because there's sometimes I
Pro
want to tell
wrestling is a conflict in a lot of people's minds.
there's times I want to tell you or I want to tell certain wrestlers, man, it's indie wrestling. Don't take it so serious. But then I come home and my focus is let's do this podcast the best we can. Let's do this. Let's edit this. Let's stay up till 3 in the morning and get 3 hours sleep editing the TV. And it's the most important thing to me. And where's the line is what I'm trying to get at because like I say, it's indie wrestling, but at the same time, I think I even told you one time, it may not be the biggest thing in the world, but it's the biggest thing in the world to you. This is your
Yeah.
world that you've made. So where's the line?
Um, that's the big question for a lot of people. They don't know that line, for some reason. Um, there's got to be a line to for your own sanity.
Okay.
It's just I think that line can change depending on the person. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't. This isn't my whole life, but I have fun with this, and a lot of this is my life,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because I enjoy it, and it's not and it's not for the like. there's no type of bragging rights or anything, but like, um, like I get to hang out with people that I enjoy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
two, three, if I'm lucky, four times a month.
Right.
Um, we yeah, we get to go out there and essentially put on the manliest play um, that we possibly can um, for the customer that has came to see it.
Yeah.
And I feel that in my mind, we do that a lot better than a lot of people around here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at the same time, though, Jif puts out a great peanut butter,
Mm-hmm.
but if you don't like Jif, it doesn't matter how good that peanut butter is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, like you can, obviously there's two and three and four kinds of great peanut butters out there. Like there doesn't have to be just one certain kind of wrestling. So I feel like we do something a certain way, but that doesn't mean we're right or wrong because, I'm not out here to push that mine is the correct way. I just think that mine is more entertaining than others.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. And something you should be proud of is I talked to a lot of fans this year, a lot, that haven't eaten peanut butter since 1999, and now they're eating all the peanut butter they can get. They're having peanut butter cookies. They're having peanut butter in their salad now. So,
Hmm.
what does that mean to you to bring a fan back to the whole sport, not just to yours, but we're bringing them back to pro wrestling?
I mean that's something. I mean it's special. Like there's something really cool about that. But at the same time, I mean like what I can't just rely on that. I have to keep going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a situation that I can just be like, oh, that's the coolest, and then I just go on a rampage and brag about that one person. Like that one person means the world to me. Like it's where it circles back around to where you were like, where's the line?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things. Like the fact that there's one person that I did that with, like in my head, in my mind, I'm like, holy crap, all of this is worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean? But that's to me, and that's in my mind. But at the same time, I'm the only one that has to be happy in the long run to with myself. So if that's the joy I've got out of this, then it shouldn't matter to you, and that's essentially like why I do what I do is I slowly get that person that didn't like this stuff before because it was a certain way and we presented a certain way and it makes them feel like they did back then and they start watching like that. To me is amazing because that's basically what happened to me is not that I got like too cool for it, but you start working, you start partying, you start doing those early 20s, mid 20s things, and sometimes you get out of those things just because you think other things are more important.
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's basically what happened to me. And then once I was like, all right, I need to chill out, so I hung out around the house more and I just basically got back into it. And like I really got back into it. So that's when I did the training and then I realized that after 2-3 years I was like, yeah, I don't know if me doing the physical part is probably for the best. So that's when I was literally learning as much as I can um, from anybody that wanted to talk. And then now 14 years later, information uh, is in the brain, and now I'm here talking to you.
There you go. And that's crazy how we was thinking alike on this subject, at least, because that was going to be my next point. A lot of my listeners know that Real Shoots run for 5 years. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean Tim Cross has been in the wrestling business for 5 years.
Yeah. Well, As a company, we have ran for 5 years. With the name and the brand itself, we have been a entity for 8.
Hmm.
Um,
But let's talk
and
about you.
and
You've
I
been,
have
yeah,
been in the business for now. This year will be 14 years.
okay, yeah. And you've been around a lot of great minds. You've seen a lot of good, bad, and ugly. I've heard some of the tales. I look forward to more. Uh, but who are some of the great minds? Some of the advice that stuck with you?
Um, Locally, um, real like local, close to home. Um, I will say, Mr. Phillips did start me out really well with a good base. Then I listened to. I had a really good a couple days with Ricky Morton. Um, I kept my ears open for that. Um, I've had situations with Kevin Sullivan. Um, uh, Nowadays, my favorites are Brutal Bob Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like if you're not listening to him, you're just not wanting to succeed in the world of pro wrestling. If you're not listening to something that he's saying, and something that he says doesn't benefit you in some way, you're not trying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's a couple other ones here and there from uh, from Ohio. There's Tom from War. Uh, um, he is someone out there that is out there to lend a hand at any point in time that he can, as a whole, to anyone. But someone that, and I can very easily say, someone I learned a lot from, whether he knows it or not. And I'm very lucky to have him in my back pocket whenever I need him or need some advice. Michael Tawney from IWA East Coast. Um, he is he has helped me a lot with how to run the business side of the business.
Okay, I dig it. Now, now we've established you've been around 14 years, and a cool little narrative that's been going through my podcast this year is the history of the tri-state scene, as far as us, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Frat Daddy started off, and I keep Ronnie Starks. I keep try to keep that thread going. What have you seen evolve? What have you saw devolve? What through the eyes of Tim Cross, what have you seen in the past 14 years as far as this independent scene?
I've seen Pittsburgh go from high, flashy, flying guys to wanting to work, and I've seen Southern guys wanting to go from wanting to work to become high, flashy guys.
Oh,
I've been around long enough to catch that. When I first started, it was more of a I was all over. I was down at uh, in Huntington, um, working for a guy named Todd Rowe, from being up to when RWA actually started and worked for Feel Bad, and pretty much everywhere in between. Um, I did things here and there. Um, but at the same time, I'm very observant. So from the time I was involved in the business and wrestling matches to the time that I am now, like I watch people, I see their reactions, I see how they act in certain situations because they shouldn't be acting that way. I saw reactions of how not to handle situations. I saw reactions of how to handle situations. I've seen, everyone. I've seen people get blasted in the locker room, and I've seen people, uh, party till the next day and have all kinds of fun. Uh, so um, it, it, but every situation is a learning experience if you allow it to be. And all 14 of them have, I've learned what not to do and what I should do. Uh, there's a lot of times where it still is a trust your gut type situation, but with the knowledge that you've learned from listening to people like Colonel Robert Parker, I've had conversations with him. I've had, like I said, conversations with Kevin Nash, not Kevin Nash, Kevin Sullivan,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then they've just given me little tips about things here and there, and like I said, there's a lot from I learned that from Michael Tawney, and those are positives. I've also learned a lot of what not to do from a lot of other promoters and bookers in this area. I'm not going to go into names when it comes to that situation, but yeah, I've really learned what not to do more than I have what to do. So there's that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you
Just as
know,
valuable.
if you know what not to do, that's a huge plus starting off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're worried about like, I wonder how this is going to go, and you go through your head and you think about the people that are you've been involved with in every situation that you've been involved with, and if you can return back to, oh, this happened and it was really bad, that's a situation to where you decide not to do it. But if you can go into your data bank and be like, well, this has not been done before, so we don't know, then that's something you should give it a shot. You know what I mean?
Right
And
on.
that's basically my game plan when it comes to how we do things around here.
Makes sense. Makes sense. We've talked about your journey and everything. Let's start touching on the RSW roster. We'll start with our champions, and we'll try to work through all of them we can. Let's start with the main man, Zeke Mercer. Been champion this long. Number one, why'd we bring
Every
Zeke
time
in at
he comes
first?
up, literally since December, like every time he comes up on this podcast, it's like hashtag fuck Zeke Mercer or fuck Zeke Mercer as much as possible, yada yada yada. And I'm just you guys are mad at him.
Well, yeah. Well, and rightfully so. We're playing the part that you want us to play in that. But why bring Zeke in the first place? Why such a long title reign? Go into your psychology when it comes to Zeke Mercer.
Zeke's 100% one of those people that came in and did what did what he wanted to. He did what he was asked to do. He did what he wanted to do, which was make himself a main event player around here. Um, and people got behind him,
Mm-hmm.
and it got to the point to where he got his opportunity and he made the best of it. And I honestly can't say that there has been a mistake since uh, on his behalf,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, to have the belt this long, I mean, he's obviously doing something right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he literally defended that belt, West Virginia, um, PA, Connecticut. Um, I believe there might be a title defense coming up that we can't announce yet in Ohio.
Okay.
So like I mean that he's done everything he said he was going to do, and he's done it beautifully, basically. And at this point, I think the joke is put the respect on my name, and I think that it's gotten to the point to where he's really making sure that people around here do that.
Definitely. There's no denying Zeke Mercer. Remy LeVay. What caught your eye with Remy LeVay? Again, another super long title reign. Go into your psychology on that.
That one, that one was just let's see what happens. Um, there was some back and forth with that, and he got an opportunity, and like I said, with about Zeke, basically made the best of it during COVID. He got a match against Andrew Palace, and he went out there and defeated Palace in the middle of the ring. Um, it, and then it just went from there. He wanted to make the best of it, and he wanted to prove to everybody that he was a main event player. And while doing that, he realized what the best way to go about that is, and not so much. I don't want to say like play by the rules, but he really basically figured out what worked best for him.
Mm.
Um, to make the best of his opportunity. And he's done nothing but that since, obviously, because he's still, to this moment, after all the title defenses that he's done, is still champion. He's basically taken on the whole roster. He's had matches in Connecticut against Stephen Pena. He's faced the likes of MV Young from PA, Argos, great talent out of the PA area. Um, and even the likes of people in Ohio. That title has been defended many times by him, and he has um, flourished in that position right now, and has longer than Zeke. Honestly, if you think about it,
Okay.
so you can't deny either one of them at this point. And the fact that they're both I don't want to say at each other's necks, but they're on different sides of the field now. It's interesting to see.
For sure. For sure. I implore anybody, if you haven't watched this week's RSW TV, that promo from Remy. And on the flip side of the coin, listen to the podcast Zeke did with me and Lawrence a couple months ago. Just the promo work and whatever the hell they're doing. That promo on RSW TV, it'll get you by the gut, man. It was something. So,
Yeah, man. This week's RSW TV, it was something else between um, that match with Zach Myers and Remy LeVay for the RSW title in New Kensington, PA. For that promo, like you said, to whatever the hell that was in the middle of the match. I don't know what the hell that was.
need to quit interrupting our matches. Jeez,
Um,
Liz.
the tag match with the Violent Party, Dusty Alexander and Vance Desmond versus the main event. That match was fun to watch. The main event is how they're not on weekly TV is just it's almost criminal.
Yep.
Um, and then you had that promo by Billy Knox and the
Yeah.
Lisa murder. Um, that was that was emotional, man.
Yeah.
Uh, and that was something that was hard to watch almost. Watching Billy get that emotional. That was definitely hard to watch, but he's definitely looks like he is ready to handle some things that he needs to deal with, and he feels he's taught. You know, as he puts it, his birds. He feels like he's taught them everything he can.
I'll tell you what, between that promo and I saw Samoa Joe cry today, I saw two hard ass dudes just pouring out their heart and soul. Damn it, man. Just
Yeah,
got,
man.
just wrenching just tearing my heart apart. But
Right.
we're talking about Billy Knox. We'll definitely get Knox dues in, but let's go ahead and keep going with the champions. The unappreciated. Why now? Why these guys? As far as tag team champions, what's your feelings on these guys?
I'm. Here's my thing. I don't support what they've done, but in any way, shape, or form, I can't deny what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, A lot of people didn't pay attention to them. They ignored them. When they've came out there and showed many a times that they aren't to be ignored anymore. And basically, in this sport, you can only be ignored for so long. And either you dip and you leave and you go, or you do something about it. And whether or not I like it or not, or this person likes it or not, they did something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Other than that, I really can't comment on them in the sense of being proud of somebody or anything like that. Um, their situation's a little different, but you can't deny them. That's basically
Yeah.
what.
And they have been proving that. I can't wait for folks to see the footage from from Parma for one. They've been definitely proving their stock. I said it, not you. That they've been proving their stock. I wasn't happy with how things went down at Krampus Mania, but
Uh, I don't think I don't. There's something that needs to be explained. I don't think anybody's happy with how that happened.
mhm,
But here's the thing: it happened. Um, it happened.
mhm,
Like that's basically how it is. There's a lot of things that in wrestling, in sports in general, in life that happen, and it's how you handle them and move forward is basically what sets you apart from others. And um, you know,
mhm.
everybody says this, they say that about them. Well, I figured it was best that we put them to the test right out the box in West Virginia. Um, so we'll see what happens March 4th.
There you go. I'll rephrase what I was saying then. I don't respect what they did at Krampus Mania, but I respect the fuck out of what they've been doing in their title defenses. That's what I'll say to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. Um, then let's go ahead and get on to Billy Knox, brother Duzan. Talk about two guys that have come into their own this year. What do you have to say about these two?
Those two, honestly, on the outside looking in, I couldn't be more proud of. Um, they are a product of our own, and what they've done in the past year really shows um, how much they care about themselves, how much they care about RSW as a whole, and how much they uh, care about pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think for you to be able to get those things across um, in a the way that they have over the last year is has been really like wowing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when these guys go out there and do what they do, as much as I give them the opportunity to do it, it pushes me to want to do it that much more. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So those two have been a real big like this needs to be as good as it can be because those two are out here because those two are a big part of RSW as a whole to get it where it is today.
For
They've
sure.
really worked their asses off.
For sure. And speaking of the murder, it brought some fan questions to mind. One of their biggest supporters, Zach Collins, wrote in, and I think we should have some fan questions here. Zach Collins writes in, will we be seeing a new division in RSW in 2023?
um, yeah, I believe there will be a new division. I'll go ahead and I can give the spoiler on that tonight, I guess.
Ooh.
There will be a new division coming in 2023 for Real Shoot Wrestling. It is going to be the junior heavyweight division.
Okay.
Um, and while I have you here, I can show you
Oh my.
the title.
Oh, look at that beauty. Episode 50. We're doing it big, baby. We got the scoops. That's a pretty belt, Tim Cross.
So this year, 2023, um, we figured it was time. So we had this beautiful belt made, and we will decide how it will be determined very shortly. It's been decided. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Um, you just need to be on the lookout and mark your calendars for March 25th.
Hell
So
yeah. I can't wait.
um, just make sure that you mark your calendars now, and more info's coming out um, in the next couple weeks. Like it
Nice. Hell
would be
yeah.
uh,
Thank you for the scoops, sir. Hell yeah.
one more time. It's just a pretty belt,
It
man.
is.
It's a very a great job, very pretty belt. So
You want to shout out the folks that made the belt? Give them a little bit of shine?
no,
No?
I
Okay.
don't. I,
I dig it.
don't
Well,
know
we
how
have
to.
more.
I don't know how to pronounce their name.
Oh, I got you.
Don't show that, Paul.
I got you. It's gonna take me weeks to get this motherfucker out edited. That's cool. I appreciate the scoop. Let's go back to the fan questions. One of the bigger RSW fans, Zeke Mercer, wrote in a fan question. Yeah. I'll just read it to you verbatim, Tim. Uh, will Timmy will Timmy Cross admit that the unappreciated basically saved Real Shoot Wrestling?
I will not.
Short.
There's no reason for me to admit that the unappreciated did anything. Were they a part of it? Of course, and I will give them 100% credit in that situation. But to say just them would be asinine, basically. Um, it's everybody. Remy is a part of that. The murder is a part of that. The women's division has really stepped up and been a part of that this year,
Mm-hmm.
from Evelyn Sage to Harleen Lopez to Nurse Micah to Honey Badger to you know Jordan at the last show, Jordan Burke. Like she
Mm-hmm.
was an amazing talent
Mm-hmm.
and really gave Evelyn Sage a run for her money. So and everybody I just named is going to be in that tournament February 18th in Parma, Ohio. So I'm super excited for us to have something for the women on our roster to have a goal and fight for.
There's a lot for RSW fans to be excited about in the next coming months. I mean, you should be excited, period. But there's a lot. The carrot is being dangled right in front of you. Get the fucking carrot, fans. Come on now. Uh,
We have
we
a women's tournament in February. We have a tag tournament in March. We are deciding how we will have a winner for the junior heavyweight title. I don't want to say it's a tournament per se
mm,
because I don't want to tournament the hell out of everybody. But it will be decided March 25th. So mark your calendars now.
hell yeah, can't wait. We'll go ahead and get this last fan question out of the way, and then we're gonna keep rolling down the roster. But ooh, okay, I won't even. I'll leave the name out of this because this is a rough question, Tim. But I'll fire it at you anyway. Will Tim
Uh,
Cross mend the travesty that unjustly caused SNS to split up and Marcus Twist to part ways with RSW? Their name starts with D. D. Is all I'm saying.
I, I didn't make anybody do anything. Um, there's been a lot of people in this business that has been wronged. Um, you know, uh, from back in the day, there's been people killed. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like in real, like that's a shoot.
yeah.
Um, so the whole my feeling of somebody quitting over basically not getting their way. I don't know. I don't know at this time if I have an answer for that question.
Fair enough. You definitely spoke your mind on it, so I'll take what I can get, the sound bites I can get from that for sure. We're talking about tag teams. Let's talk about Saturday Night Special. What did they mean to RSW in 2022?
I mean, they stepped up big time. I can very easily say that they were a huge part of 2022 and the success of that. So basically, it would be disrespectful to SNS if I were to tell Zeke that the unappreciated were basically the reason why 22 was a success in that sense, because SNS was a huge part of that. Between their battle uh, between the good guys
Mm-hmm.
in Morgantown at Skeeter Moe's to their match with the good guys there in the Buchanan area in April. Um, you know, they they had, and then when they won the titles, the wars they had with the murder from
Mm-hmm.
Connecticut all the way down to West Virginia, they had wars, and those boys were definitely bringing it this year, and I'm proud of the successes that they're having across the board. Um, so, they may not be able to do what they like to do in real shoot wrestling right now. But I see them out there, and they're out there showing people um, that basically they were right about some things, and good for them.
Okay, I dig it. I dig it. Let's throw another name at you. Gannon Green really stepped up in 2022. He may not have went the right way about it, but he definitely turned some heads. What's your thoughts on no bullshit?
Um, like I've said about other people, it if people weren't noticing you the way you wanted to be you way you want to be noticed, you go out there and make them notice you regardless. He's one of those people. um he's felt that he was in Paulie Kilpis's shadow, and basically he's made it very clear that he thought that was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So he made that clear at the first Fairmont State show there, and he hasn't stopped since. Uh,
For sure.
Basically, any type of bullshit anywhere that he thinks that he needs to get his point across, he does it. You know, and good for him because as a guy that came in here on the quiet side of things, the fact that he's got to this point is good on him.
For
And I look for some big things from him from in 2023.
As do I. As do I. Let's flip the coin. Paulie Kilpis. What's he mean to RSW?
He might be the most natural, um, natural great goofball since George the Animal Steel.
Okay.
On the goofball side of things, not so much whenever George the Animal Steel was mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, he he might be he's special. Uh, I don't mean I don't mean it to sound that way, Paulie. Uh, but you are special.
A special talent.
You're a special talent, sir. And he's one of the most. It's weird sometimes. He's the most underdog situation I have ever seen in wrestling, and I couldn't be happier for him that it is succeeding in the long run.
For sure. I don't even think Paulie realizes how well he's doing. I really don't. He's universally loved. He can go in the ring. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're you're saying things that I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're more than welcome to finish. But yeah, every time he goes out there and it gets to a and there's a situation to where somebody new works him, and comes back and goes, I didn't expect that. I didn't think that that was how that was going to turn out, and I would like to do that again anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's good to be those kind of people, um, in these type of situations. So good on Paulie. He's become everything he wanted to do and be.
For sure, for sure, and the sky's the limit, definitely.
As
Uh,
far as he wants to go.
yep. Somebody that I don't think gets enough recognition, even though he had a hell of a title program. He's beaten Billy Knox in a dog collar match. He's recently beat Beastman in a dog collar match. I still don't think people realize how good Mad Dog Zach Myers is and what a great mind this man has. Do you have my back on that or?
um, I have uh,
Look at that look on his face. Say it.
it Zach Myers. I appreciate everything he does. Um, he may have his own interests at heart sometimes.
Hmm.
Still want a title. Who's he trying to help there except for himself?
Okay.
So Zach can sometimes be selfish. But I feel that's because you know Zach does what he wants to do, and sometimes you can't stop somebody from doing that. And he's one of those people that goes out there and does what he wants to do, and entertains every single time he does
For sure.
it.
For
He sometimes needs chilled out on his ideas, though.
sure. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. I haven't a clue of what you're talking about there. Evelyn Sage. Let's switch it up to Evelyn Sage. How much has she impressed you recently?
Talk about okay. We talked earlier about listening to Brutal Bob Evans,
Mm-hmm.
and I take his criticism and his advice and his information to heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a big person of, what, like, you don't need to go to that kind of show because there's not going to be anybody there, and this, that, and the other, and don't waste your time, and yada yada yada. And he really, Bob, really started to push to the point of anything can happen at any show. You can run into anyone. You could meet the next talent. You could meet the next person that you like to work with in this business. You could meet the next good photographer, production guy, film guy, merch maker. Like there's really anything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's always that chance of meeting somebody to take that next step to make yourself better or your company better.
Okay.
So I took Bob's advice. I went to the show, and that's where I saw Lopez and Evelyn Sage,
Mm-hmm.
and they went out there and entertained. So just went out there, had a great match. Showed both of them showed what they're good at. Um, they're still new to this situation for the most part in the grand scheme of things. So the fact that they're as advanced as they are now, um, above others, makes them a great commodity for real shoot wrestling. And I was luckily in the situation to meet them at one of those type of shows that people said, don't waste your time, don't go to, yada, yada, yada. So listening to Bob instead of listening to people that you know shouldn't be listening to in this business.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to put myself in a awesome situation with the likes of some great female talent. So Evelyn Sage has done nothing but went out there and performed her heart out and killed it. She has got win after win and just shown why she is a top talent around here.
For sure. For sure. Women's talent. Nurse Micah. Why bring Nurse Micah in? What impressed you about her?
Um, you know, uh, to an extent, this is just like an actual sport. If a kid goes through a certain football program, whenever it's time to draft who you can get, um, you're going to go with the person that is a good teacher, and basically her trainer. I know for a very long time. He's someone that I have learned a lot from. Chance Profit is her trainer,
Mm-hmm.
and she also works a lot with Jason Kincaid. So I knew that even 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 out the box, she'll be more um, polished than other people would from other schools. And I knew that if they put um, the okay on her, then she was ready, and they did, obviously, and they graduated, and just like I figured, uh, great talent, sweet girl, knows her what she's doing very well, and goes out there and performs to the best of her ability. And um, she doesn't really have a win for Real Shoot Wrestling yet, but that may change with this tournament coming up in February. Again, she's in it.
There you go. Uh, Definitely. I saw her recently tear down the house with Ruthless Lala. What a match. That was a fun one. So,
Yeah, yeah. In Ohio, that was on January 14th. That was a solid match.
that was a fun one. I was scared for her, but by God, she held her own. And
I had to check on her the next day.
oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
Because win or lose, when you're working, in there with talent like Ruthless Lala, you're going to need checked on the next day.
Fair enough.
Win or win or lose.
Fair, right. That makes sense. We was talking about veterans that knew what they were doing and can provide a lot to their students. Violent Vance Desmond, how is he? How important is he to the RSW locker room?
Here's the thing. It's not even like an importance to the Real Shoe Wrestling locker room. The
Mm-hmm.
importance to West Virginia wrestling in this area as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just lucky enough to have him in my locker room. Um, he is someone that is out there to help you in every way, shape, or form. He's not out there making sure you know four ways out of an armbar. He's out there making sure you know what an armbar is, how to get out of it, what to do next, and also the best way for you to diet, for you to get the body that you are desiring in this field. Because I mean, you might not want the six pack and everything else. You might want to gain the weight, but he knows that stuff, and he helps. He can help you in that aspect, and he's just someone that is always willing to sit down and go, okay, this was amazing, this was great. Um, Maybe try this, maybe do that. Like, he doesn't go in there and explain to them negatively right off the bat. Like, obviously, you need to be told what you did wrong, or you know what I mean, or what you could do better. But it could be explained in an adult manner,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of people don't know how to do that. He's one of those guys that can across the board at any level, whether you're right out of school, been doing this for 3 years, been doing this for 5 to 10. He can explain it to you about, hey, you could have did this, and it would have improved this 10%. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's great for that guy.
Hell yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And like you said, somebody been in 10 years. Well, Violent Vance Desmond been in there a hell of a lot longer than you have. So definitely listen to the man's advice. Why,
Hmm.
why bring back Dustin Alexander this year? What can you tell me about this guy?
Um, we never really wanted him to leave. Um, is probably the best way to put that.
Mm,
Um, Situations occurred, and um, sometimes business goes further than it should, and real life comes into play, and things just weren't agreed upon, and they were handled a certain way, and we just weren't able to make things work for a little while. Um, then, things were fixed, management changed, and we got to the point to where we spoke with uh, Dustin and Nikki, and figured it was time
mm,
to basically come and make all the wrong things right. Us by them, and them by us. So, and it has been nothing but a good thing since for both parties. I
good.
can't say enough good things about both of them. Uh, they both she brings a fire out of Dustin, and that definitely helps him. And you know, she is very well. What's the best way? She's a firecracker. That's the best way to put it. You never know what she's going to do. So she's good to have on your team.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'll fire one more at you. Frat Daddy, Tristan.
My bulldog.
Okay.
Um, I will say that all the time. Um, he doesn't get enough credit. Um, he has shown himself to me in a couple different ways over the course of 2022, to where he let me know that he wants the best for Real Shoot Wrestling, and he really wants to see um, Real Shoot Wrestling uh, strive to be the best around. So I can't say enough good things about uh, Frat Daddy. Um, from from him jumping off of a U-Haul,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, to even having a team with that Zach Myers guy from time to time. Uh, and a little thing that might not be known is Tristan is Frat Daddy. He is our head trainer for the Real Shoot Wrestling Academy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's someone out there that is also uh, willing to make um, the young guys as good as possible. Um, he's a younger version of Vance Desmond, I guess is the best way to put that.
Hell yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up because that actually segues perfectly into my next question. Who should we be keeping an eye on coming out of the current crop of students you guys have there training?
Um, Basically, the crop that we have right now, um, like I said, COVID was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
So our crop is what's there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that is training right now is wanting to serve in a different type of situation. So um, we've taken 22 to rebuild the company as as good as we could. And in 2023, I think we were definitely going to be working on rebuilding our school as good as we possibly could as well.
Okay. And you touched on it a little bit. For folks that maybe wrote off real shoot wrestling years ago for one reason or another, or hasn't stayed up with the current product, you mentioned there has been management changes. What would you like to say to those folks that wrote off real shoot wrestling because of people that were in management?
Um, you, we're a different machine now. It is not um, it is not the one man show with his henchmen. Um, it is a it is also more of a product for the families, and honestly, now it is an experience. Um, I've made that very clear to people that ask me. I don't even think that we can be called a promotion anymore at this point with some of the weird stuff that we're doing. I feel like we are, people that come there. I've heard people leave and like, wow, that was an awesome experience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to the point to where like you don't even come and watch us, you come and experience us.
Yeah.
So that's just me passing on what I've heard from the crowd and
Mm-hmm.
people as they're leaving the shows at the end of the night, because obviously with the shows growing the way they are, you like to feel the crowd and how they're reacting about stuff. So I go into the crowd sometimes, and while they're leaving, and thank everybody for coming, just let people know that I'm very appreciative that they've spent their time and their money
Mm-hmm.
with us. So I want them to feel like they're a part of this as much as I am, or the boys in the back, or anybody.
Right on. Right
You
on.
know, they're almost like they're they're the 12th man at a football stadium for a football team. So I definitely feel like the real shooters out there um, definitely make our shows an experience.
Yep, for sure. And when you say that, it takes me back to Fairmont State. And I've told the story on the podcast, but I'll tell it one more time. Uh, Before the show even started, Brotherly Love was out giving shit to the crowd the whole before the show even started. How
Oh,
did you get your eyes on Brotherly Love and bring in this tag team? But kudos, by the way. I love the dudes. How did Brotherly Love end up in RSW?
I mean, I mean the same way that you'll find people like you'll notice things about people, just like you'll scout. If your football team is playing this other team, you'll scout that team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other teams have came to me and was like, "Listen, I want to beat this team's ass. Like, I want to prove that I can beat them." So people will bring stuff up to me like that, and I'll go, you know, um, check them out, scout them out. And it's also another one of those situations where I know where they're from. I know their wrestling dad or trainer, or
Mm-hmm.
however people say it nowadays. But I know who made sure they knew what they were doing, so I trust them very much. And I figured that they would be well worth taking a chance on, and they exceeded expectations when they right off the bat with their promo that they sent to us. We knew that it was a good decision to put them in that position, and they have done nothing but succeed for us since then. Um, I mean, the matches that they've had
Mm-hmm.
have been great. So you know, they were a big team to turn it on for us there towards the end of 22. So I see big things for them in 2023.
Hell yeah, definitely, definitely. They're already well on track. talented as hell. I could go on all day about brotherly love. We're nearing the end of the interview. We've put over Tim Cross. We've put over Real Shoot Wrestling. And I've kind of went back and forth in my head to bring this up or not, but I think 50 episodes is something to pat myself on the back on. But at the same time, thank you
Of
for the
course.
opportunities. Thank you for the guests you've lined up and given me, little old me, an opportunity in this business. This show started episode one. Me and you didn't start off on the best foot over a misunderstanding, right?
Yeah. Um, 100%. We started off well. It was a misunderstanding from somebody else that thinks they know everything there is to know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, little birdie in your ear, little birdie in my ear, it goes back and forth. That's basically how it is. And you don't ever find out what the truth is until you just talk to the person that, the information's about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's basically what happened. And we figured out the bullshit. And then, you came to you came to a show, and you saw for yourself what we were about, and then you were able at that point to make your own decision, and I feel you've done so.
For sure. But I can make decisions all day as okay, I'll go attend these shows.
Hmm.
But thank you for putting trust in me to not only get to develop your storylines as far as my podcast, have your people on my podcast to allow me in a vehicle with wrestlers that I can learn from, to be backstage to see how a pay-per-views run, things of that nature. Uh, I know there was some hesitation at first. There's no doubt in my mind. Thank God I'm friends with Billy Knox and some people that know I'm a good dude. Uh,
uh,
if you can
yeah.
tell some of the listeners how that deliberation went, do we bring
Uh,
Spooky Lou into the fold?
yeah, you grew up with Billy, and turns out so did I, but in a different, both in different manners. I went to school with Billy, um, and you hung out with Billy's in the summers, basically, and
Yeah.
but you got friends all the time. But you did a lot of your hanging out in the summertime. Well, in fact, little known fact, me and Billy didn't even like each other in high school. It wasn't until later when we realized that high school drama is stupid
Right.
and we're adults. So we totally made a friendship, and it became what it is now. And then he basically came to me and was like, "Yo, like that's who this is. He's a friend of mine. I've known him forever, and I've got your back. So if that's where I'm going, I'm sure he's coming with me." So I took his word for it, and you know, it was worth it was worth putting the trust in Billy to move forward, and it's been worth it putting the trust in you to forward along our product so that the people that want to see it can. Um, and there's a big thank you on my behalf to the extent that you actually think this is worth people to a lot of people to see,
Hmm.
that you do the work that you do. So this has paid. Me taking a chance on you has paid uh, for itself time and time again since I've done it. I've been lucky, very lucky. I've done it with a couple people, but I basically do it because people's done it for me. I mean, that's basically where it's at. Michael Tawney told me stuff from IWA East Coast. He told me stuff, that he didn't have to.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know if he saw something in me or he just didn't give a shit and he was just running from the mouth or whatever. But I would learn from him from the things he said. There's a lot of like how you pay the wrestlers. There's a lot of you know uh, the understanding that a lot of people don't think about. You do this, it'll work it out. It'll equal out to be this. You do that, it'll equal out to be this. you do that, you run here, you do this, you do that. You know, he's taught me a lot. So I have to be very appreciative of of the information that he's given me, so that it does get to the point to where I can give you the information that I've given you.
Right.
So, you know, and you believe in me, so I have no other reason than to believe in you. And the same goes with um I'll put him on blast. Um Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Uh he he randomly got in the car and came up to our first anniversary show, and watched Beast Man versus Aaron Williams, and watched Gregory Iron in a ladder match. Winner gets a shot at the internet champion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, um, you know, like he just basically came up, and at the end of the show, he came to me and was just like, "Listen, whatever I can do, I just want to I just want to do something." You know, he was a great ref. Um, you know, and basically became the best ref in West Virginia very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like, I know it, know it's not the best for some people, but you know, he brags about ref in certain matches, and you know, it's a joke,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but you know, he got to do some cool stuff real quickly because of, you know, how good he was. But you know, I he got a random chance just because he came up here and showed me he wanted it. You know, just like somebody did for me.
Right.
Uh, I did it for you. I did it for, you know, Billy. I do it for a lot of people because, like I said, if if I wasn't given that opportunity, you know, I couldn't give people the opportunity. So um, that's that's basically,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, why I said I gave you the chance, because you were doing stuff on your own without even talking to us, and you were getting good angles. So I understood, like, you knew what people wanted to see and how they wanted to see it. So, you know, to give you almost the okay to play in, you know, be a kid in a candy store with this stuff, you know, like
It's a good way to
it,
put it.
it's paid for itself tenfold for us.
I
So,
did.
you know, you can thank me all day, but I will thank you just as much back.
Well, I do. You know I appreciate it. I tell you all the time. You know I appreciate it. Something I haven't told my listeners. This wasn't the first opportunity I was offered. I was offered an opportunity years ago at Summit Park, and I dipped my toes into the backstage, into the business, and I didn't like it. I did not enjoy wrestling anymore. And I said, I want to be on the other side. I want to be cheering for the wrestlers. I don't know, it was the atmosphere, it was the tone of things. I was not having fun anymore. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm having the time of my life. I'm taking the ball and I'm going to fucking run with it. And I thank you for the trust that you and others have put in me. So don't think that I take it for granted. And
Well, I don't at all, and I think that it has been 100%. You know, you do for me, I do for you, and it's worked for both parties at this point.
definitely, definitely. And we know, and I've said it a million times, I'll say it one more time, it's a perfect storm. This year is going to be insane. I know it. I've kept you for an hour and a half, but it's episode 50. Yeah, what's up?
It's it's totally fine, and there's still there's a hidden gem for Real Shoot Wrestling, and I want to make sure that he could stay hidden, because he's not about the glitz and glam. So, you know, he has no problem just hanging out in the back. But, and everybody knows who this is too. But I'll just say, uh, Bill, if it wasn't for Bill, Real Shoot Wrestling probably wouldn't be here.
For sure.
Um, uh, just plain and simple. Um, he randomly, just like you, came to a show, saw something in us that was worth wanting to put effort into, and I couldn't be more thankful for him. Um, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have made it in 22. Um, he was the very first person to jump to, um, you know, just believing in me and knowing that if this train steered the right way, it could be unstoppable. And I just want to make sure that he knows that he is more than appreciated from me and all the other ones in the back. So I just want to make sure that it is understood that if not for him, we probably wouldn't be here right now, Bub.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And it blew my mind you said the four letters because I was always under the assumption we don't mention that guy, but definitely, yeah. When you said Bill, I said, oh shit. But
Yeah,
what a
putting it
jewel.
at Bill, he's just not. He's not one of those guys. He's never been. And for the longest time, he wasn't. He didn't even have a Facebook.
Uh
Yeah, he was Facebookless Bill.
huh.
He was hiding under something else. I don't want to. I don't know if he wants people to know. So, but yeah, if it wasn't for him, there would be no us now. And I love him to death. He has um, became a brother, and like I said, if not for him, there wouldn't be an us.
He wants the best for everybody. He's a maniac. He runs the air conditioner in the wintertime.
Bro, right?
What?
He's nuts.
He's a
The guy,
maniac.
he's nuts. He's animal behind a drum set, man. Like he's crazy.
Yeah, but hey, he froze me, but I felt safe when I was with him, and I
Right?
learned a lot.
You'll be
And
cold. You'll be cold as shit, but other than freezing to death, you have nothing else to worry about.
I woke up, my blanket was on the floor too. I don't see me kicking off the blanket when I was freezing. Did this crazy maniac rip off my blanket? I don't know. We that's
I
a
mean,
story for
it's
another day.
Bill. It's Bill. He may have.
Yeah,
He may have. You don't know.
I don't
It's,
know.
it's Bill.
We love you, Bill. I'm glad he got his due because, like I say, I was always under the assumption we don't say that word, and I'm glad you gave the man his due. I'm glad you stopped me on that. Uh, to my
He
listeners,
very,
before I let
he
you
very
go,
much. He very much deserves it as much as anybody else.
for sure.
Also,
Hmm.
also, um, there's two other ones. Um, I know people might not like him. I know people might not like either one of these people right now too much. But for if it comes to real shoot wrestling, um, Justin Baker,
Hmm.
uh, I have to give him um, props. He's always been um, one of my guys. He's always been the first one to just ready to go. If anybody's talking bad about us, if anybody does us wrong, he's the first guy to, what are we going to do about it? He's the first one ready to roll. He's just, he's always been that guy. And in the long run, since we've been around, he was our first color commentator. I
Hmm.
mean, work that he did for us when we first started, phenomenal.
Did a
Um,
damn good job.
he's one of the best around. But the bad thing is when you're as good talking as he is, sometimes your position needs to change, and that's basically what 2022 was. And um, I I think he did what he thought was best to have the best 22 he could possibly have.
And there's
And
no
right,
denying him.
and right now, how do you deny him
Hmm.
when he's got three guys under him and every single one has gold over their shoulder?
Yep.
Um,
Also, before
And
you name the next one, which I know who you're going to name, but also one of the fan favorite podcasts. I get reviews on that all the time. How people loved his podcast, so he's doing something right.
um, I had to fire this person, but um, referee James,
Mm-hmm.
um, he's in year 14 too. Um, Oddly enough, we were brought in at the same time, and I feel we both made the best of it. And I wouldn't want to do this without him there right beside us.
Hell yeah.
Uh, Unfortunately, he did something that he felt he needed to do. I had to handle that. Um, he's still basically being told that it's best for him to just kind of follow suit for right now, because if he doesn't stop or he does run his mouth, other things will be handled. But it's still under the understanding that, you know, he's he did a lot for us in the beginning. I've
Mm-hmm.
got to give him his due. So he's been with us since the beginning, and I feel it would be wrong not to give him credit for what he's done.
Fair enough. Don't trust him. Little fucker's up to something. I know he is. So, I'm just saying that.
I don't know that fucker not to be up to something,
Okay. Fire me.
right? Why was he surprised by that? Like we saw you take money.
Yep.
Like you didn't even try to hide that shit,
Nope. Well, he was on the side with no fans. I'll give him that. But he was on the side with the cameraman too. So,
right?
mm,
Dummy.
I don't know. What can the fans expect in 2023? We've pretty much covered all those bases, but what can you give my listeners before you go as far as any tidbits of advice you can give them in life, in wrestling, and whatever before I let you live your life and go on your way as Real Shoot
Two things:
Wrestling owner?
wrestling related.
Mm-hmm.
Expect the unexpected when it comes to real shoot wrestling this year.
Hell yeah.
Um, in life, you better do it for yourself because nobody else is going to, and you better be having fun doing it. Or why you here?
There you go. That perfect message for the show. Perfect message. Tim Cross, man, thank you. Not just for the interview, for the opportunities, for the trust, for the knowledge, for everything. It's just the beginning of this beautiful budding relationship. It is what it is.
Like a rose.
Yeah, I tell you, like a beautiful ass rose you never saw. A purple rose. You know, I got the RSW colors in there. A purple and white rose.
But yeah, expect a lot more from us statewide. Expect a lot more from us East Coast wise. Expect a lot more from us in general. We're going to get to the point to not where uh, you hate us, but you will hear our name all the time.
Yup, yup. I promise you that. We're just
Write
watch
it down.
our.
Picture. I don't give a shit.
Hell yeah, man. Never change. I don't think you're going to at this point. Fuck.
At this point, there's no point.
No, no.
That's too far gone.
Yeah,
People have made their decision about me, and that's about it.
fair. Ah, hey, I thought I formed a fucking whatever I thought about you. Whatever. We
Okay.
and others. We'll go back to Billy Knox, but whatever. It's been episode 50, man. I wanted it to be special. I'd like to
50.
think it was.
Congratulations. 50 of them.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I thank you for your help. I'd say you
And
probably
I mean,
looked over.
and not even so much that it's 50, man, that you should be proud of. It's the fact that you've done 50 in the time that you have, man.
Yeah, good
What, you
point.
started in July?
Yeah, July. Yeah, and here
Busting
we
them
are.
out, bro.
I've had co-hosts quit on me. I've interviewed the greatest.
bro. I'm telling you, it's sometimes hard to get people to care about your stuff as much as you care about your stuff, and that goes across the board, you and them as well. So I mean, it is what it is. Doesn't mean you still can't, share each other's stuff and support each other as much as possible, and that's the same way it is with everything.
There you go. That's
You
hey.
know, if McDonald's and Burger King can both survive within a block of each other, I'm pretty sure that wrestling companies can work together and for the betterment of everything.
And we're seeing it happen. We are seeing it happen. I'm so glad I can be a part of the magic. And it's like I say, here we are, episode 50. We got more coming down the pike. We got plenty coming as far as
I'm
RSW.
excited. I'm excited for what you have, like the next 50.
Yeah,
Um, I'm excited.
I'm going to.
So
Shit, next time you go on a Jericho cruise, I'm going to be putting you up to shit out there, you know? So,
I, I take your ass with me.
hell yeah, let's go.
In fact, I'm gonna get you in touch with some people that should be going soon for this year's.
Okay.
Maybe you can do a before and after.
There we go. There we go. Because I've heard your stories. It sounds like a good time. Folks need to hear these stories, man.
And this guy's been at every single one, so bro, you could have a two-parter with him.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, we're
All
gonna have a
right,
two-parter with you. We're gonna have you back on in a few months, see how things have went, see how much more hair you've lost, see if you've kept your
maybe
sanity.
maybe I can gain hair. Maybe I can get a fuller beard, or
There you go.
hopefully I lose some weight. I'm
Uh,
trying to. That's a 2023 thing.
you
I'm
want to see
working
who? You want to see who can lose more weight this year, me or you?
on. Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it.
All right. There you heard. You heard it right here. Me against Tim Cross, man.
Let's go, bro.
All right, it's on. It's on. Now, fuck being nice to you now. Now we're rivals.
Yeah, bro, right? But thank you. Thank you again for believing this is worth your time. And thank you for having me on your show.
I thank you for coming on. I've been begging you for 48
Too
episodes.
long. Fucking 48 episodes.
Timing's everything. Timing's everything. It was a perfect time to have you on because believe me, I have all the faith in the world in RSW, the locker room, yourself. To my listeners, you know how we do. Treat each other kindly. Live your dreams. You might be surprised. Don't take no shit. Damn it. Now go do something. You sat here for almost an hour and a half listening to me
Yeah,
and Tim Cross. What the fuck are you doing? Go do something with your life.
yeah. Go do something. Be it, cut, hit us up. Learn how to be a pro wrestler.
There you go. Links in the description. Find us on Facebook. Watch RSW TV.
Thursdays at noon.
Thursdays at noon, baby. We're out of here. We love you.